Hello, everyone. Hello, Maureen. Good
Hi.
afternoon. So, everyone, let me introduce you to Maureen McGarvey. She's a freelance educational consultant, and she specializes on teacher and manager development. And she also wrote online management courses offered by IH World and the management module for the Aston's University Masters in TESOL. And there is so much more that you've done, yeah. But I mean, the video is not very long. So the reason we're talking today is that Maureen is coming to Moscow really soon.
I'm so excited about this.
January, perfect choice. Perfect.
Yes, I have a warm coat, so I think I'll be okay.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one coat. Oh, well, it's okay. No, thank you for being so brave. I think Russia is beautiful in winter, so it's a good choice. The reason Maureen is coming is that she's going to teach us. Yeah, she's doing a couple workshops for the Business Forum on the 17th of January. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's 2 days of work in Moscow for the Business Forum. Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 days altogether. One for the forum and then 2 days for workshop for school owners, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So on one day, we'll be talking about managing performance in English language teaching, because this is something that's often quite difficult for school owners or academic managers, how to manage performance of their staff. And on the second day, we'll be talking about CPD, continual professional development for staff in a language teaching organization, what it is, what we can do, how we can develop coherent CPD programs in our schools. So that's what we'll be looking at.
Wow, I'll be there, like all the time you're in Moscow, I'll be following you.
Excellent.
So, as you know, we're streaming to my Facebook group, and it's for self-employed teachers or freelance teachers. So my first question to you today will be about switching from being employed to unemployed or freelance. Yeah, what's the word for that? So how did it go for you? How long have you been a freelancer, and how do you feel about it?
I left my previous employer, which was International House London, in June this year. So I'm a baby freelancer, right, in a way, in that I've only been freelance for 6 months. And prior to that, I had been in full-time employment for 120 years, a very long time,
Quite a long.
within the International House World Organization. So making the move from being fully employed to freelance was really quite a nervous thing to do, if I'm honest, because there's a lot of attractions in being employed. Of course, you have the security of the paycheck, etc., etc. You know where you are, you can budget your finances from month to month, however well or badly you do that, at least you can do it. To moving to being freelance and having to use my contacts to find work, to seek work opportunities, to network more proactively, to plan my time. It's a steep learning curve, I think, when you first do it.
But you look happy, so.
Well, I'm extremely happy from having made the change. And I think one of the big benefits for me, and I'm not sure for others who are watching, is that when you work for an employer, you have to do what your employer wants you to do.
Yeah, right.
And because for us, mostly that's teaching or training, then generally we're pretty happy with that. You know, we like doing it. But making the move to freelance has meant that I have a lot more interesting opportunities in different contexts, like this work I'm doing for Dmitry Natikin in Moscow, that I probably couldn't have taken up that opportunity when I was employed. And other projects come in, or other people contact you, and several people said to me, don't worry, the work will find you. And I would be sitting in my bed wide awake at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, what happens if it doesn't find me though? And I think, and maybe some of the people who are watching share the same thing, when you first become freelance, I think the thing that motivates you is what I call the fear.
Ooh.
And you will accept any work that comes to you because of the fear, because you know you don't have a regular paycheck anymore. So you think, I have to take everything, because what happens if nothing comes?
Mm-hmm.
And you can end up, as happened to me in the summer, working on 3 major projects at the same time, which, you know, you take on too much. And it's a great risk to your health and well-being, really. And of course, because you're a freelancer, you don't get sick pay if you're ill from your organization. So one of the really important things I learned fairly early on was I need to look after myself a bit more consciously, and not just accept everything that comes to me because of the fear.
So this fear, does it motivate or demotivate?
I think, like every negative emotion, it can do it either way. I think with the fear, you can sort of paralyze yourself of, oh my God, nothing's going to happen, and I won't be able to do anything, I won't have any money. And that can inhibit you from actively networking and contacting people and getting yourself out there, getting yourself known. So for me, it's a motivating thing, because it's making me broaden my perspective of what I'm able to do, and realize that there are abilities that perhaps I wasn't fully using in my previous employment. I can be more courageous, I can try different things, and I can also realize, well, I'm not very good at that, or I don't really enjoy that, so you know what, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to do this instead. So it's, for me, it has been very motivating. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best part. Oh, I don't have to do that, I can do anything I want.
That's right. And you can't really say that to your boss at work, can you? You can say, no, do you know what, no, I don't want to do that.
No, that's not the way, yeah, we're used to do. And like you said about this fear, yeah, so you would wake up in the middle of the night thinking that the job won't find you. How long did it take for the job to find you for the first project?
I've been very lucky, because work found me quite quickly. I worked in the summer in University of the Arts in London, teaching pre-sessional courses and being course leader for a teaching team of 7, 8 pre-sessional teachers. And I also had other online work that I was asked to do for training managers online, some consultancy work that I've been asked to do for certain organizations. So I was quite lucky in that the work found me quite quickly. But of course, I'm coming to Russia in January, which is great, and I've got other work in January, but February, March, April, who knows? So one thing I've had to learn quite quickly is aspects of financial management that you don't have to consider so much when you're employed, in terms of managing your own profit and loss, keeping a very good track of your outgoings, your incoming, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's why for this freelance forum, actually, we're starting with the financial section. I'm sorry, it's going to be in Russian, so, but I think you're an expert there too. Yeah, that's why we're starting with managing your money, yeah, organizing it and thinking of how we spend it and how we spend it on CPD as well. Because I think that's the basics for the freelancers.
I think it's really important for freelancers, because you have no financial security except the security that you create for yourself.
Yeah. And nobody teaches us to do that. Yeah, you don't learn it at university, do you?
That's right, and that's why it's a really good idea to start your freelancers event with this, because it's something everybody shares, and some people will be better at it than others, and everybody has little tips and tricks and things they do, that it's very useful to share those in common and find out how to work with it, I think. Pity it could be in Russian, I could do that session.
And next time. Yeah, because we're doing it for teachers of different languages. That's why the business day workshop, we try to keep it in Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because lots of people need this information. So can you, like for those ones who just joined or who started watching from the end, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to do in Moscow when you come here in January?
I know, in my big coat. In Moscow in January, I'm doing a session for your people talking about managing your own CPD, which we talked about a little here today.
Freelancers, yeah.
For the business forum, I'll be talking about performance management in English language teaching. That's the first day. What is performance management? How do we recognize it? How do we manage it? How do we develop it, etc. And the second day, we'll be talking exclusively about CPD, continual professional development for staff. What types of CPD there are, what types of CPD staff want, how to define and devise an effective CPD program that includes all your staff, because school managers, you know, manage admin staff as well as academic staff, and you need to consider that as well. So the two key topics are performance management on the first day. I'm really excited to hear what delegates think of my view of performance management. I did some research with some teachers in London about their views of performance management and what they want from their manager in terms of managing their performance, which I'll be bringing to Moscow. And I'm very interested to hear the responses of delegates to that. And the second day, looking at different aspects of CPD.
Whew. Wow, really sounds really exciting and sounds useful. And I don't think we have like many events. Like I have never heard of like a whole day on CPD, for example, or performance management. So these topics sound quite new to me here. But maybe because I'm new to like managing. You know.
I think, from my understanding, that certainly with Dimitri, there hasn't been an event that's focusing on these more management style topics. So I think this is perhaps a newer thing coming to Moscow, which is even more exciting because then we can just work it out as we go along.
Super. Sounds really, really exciting. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop live now. So goodbye to everyone.
Bye, and hope to see some of you in Moscow in January.